Hello everybody, this is Arokia Das. Welcome to the biology class. In today's class, we are going to start up with the ninth phylum of kingdom Animalia, chapter 4, named phylum Echinodermata. So let me share the screen and then start today's class. Dear students, phylum Echinodermata is the ninth phylum among the 10 phylum what we are going to study under non-chordata or invertebrata. In previous class, we studied mollusca. Previous to that, we studied arthropoda. Arthropoda was the largest phylum in animal kingdom. Mollusca was the second largest. And Echinodermata. After this Echinodermata phylum, we are going to study the last phylum. So we are almost towards the end of this invertebrates, study of invertebrates or non-chordates. We'll get into the general characters of phylum Echinodermata without wasting the time. Phylum Echinodermata is derived, this term is derived from a Greek term. It is a Greek word. What does this Echinodermata refers to? Now this Echinodermata, I'll split this word. I'll split this word. The word echino refers to spiny. Derma refers to skin. The organisms, to be specific, the marine organisms with spiny skin are called echinodermates. Spiny skins, spines means something sharp. Most of the students gets confused. Spiny means it is a thorn. No, spiny need not be a thorn. It can be just a sharp structure or once you make a hair sharp, it doesn't pierce. But the skin of the animals will be having more spiny structure. That's why the name Echinodermata. Fine, we'll get into the general characters or salient features. First point, these animals have an endoskeleton. See, first point I want you to make it in your mind or in your book is what? The organisms, the marine organisms with spiny skins are included in this phylum. That is actually the very important point. They are not mentioned it in your textbook separately. But that should be the first point to be biologically correct. And now if you see, these organisms have an endoskeleton. These organisms have an endoskeleton. Endoskeleton, I said exoskeleton and endoskeleton in case of mollusk in my previous class. Endoskeleton, the external shell. Sorry, exoskeleton, the external shell, and endoskeleton inside. Exoderm and endoderm also we have studied like that. Now, these animals have a peculiar character, specific character, that is their endoskeleton inside, the skeleton will be inside, will be made up of calcareous ossicles. Okay, in my previous class I mentioned you, calcareous means what? It is nothing but made up of calcium carbonate, I think CaCO, Ca2CO3. Don't use that short form. Calcium carbonate structures I have mentioned here. And hence the name Echinodermata. Actually, the name is derived just because of they are having spiny skin, not because of exactly the ossicles. Ossicles are what? This is a very, very important point, and this word you will not come across in any other phylum. Ossicles, you can assume a single brick in a wall. A single brick in a wall, and many bricks will make a wall, right? You can see this diagram, this one. Ossicle I have shown here. This small structure, single structure like a brick, small structure, any one structure you take, I am rounding it off, any one single structure you take. So the endoskeleton of all these echinodermates are made up of these structures called as ossicles. These ossicles are the main composition of their endoskeleton, and this ossicle word will not come across in any other phylum. Very important point indeed when you study Echinodermata. diagram is not required. Just to show, I took this image. Now, first point, hope it is clear. They are having spiny skin, hence the name Echinodermata, and their endoskeleton is made up of many ossicles. That is also very, very important point. Moving on to the next point, they are exclusively free living marine organism. Exclusively. For example, I mentioned the same example, IPL 2021, exclusively on. You don't find this match to be broadcast on all the channels, but only restricted to a single channel. Exactly like that. Exclusively word refers to these echinodermates are aquatic, and moreover aquatic, they are found only in marine water, not in fresh water also. These are the only organisms which are found exclusively in marine water. That is once again a very important point in terms of phylum Echinodermata. And the second point also can be split up into 2 points. One is their habitat, they are exclusively marine. And one more thing you can see, their organ level, system level of body organization. The body is what? How the body is organized? Organ system level of body organization. So the first point also was divided. Okay, the first point also was divided into 2 points. How? Spiny skin plus having ossicles. Second point also you can divide it. They're exclusively free living marine animals, and they have organ system level of body organization. The latter half of the second point we have come across many times in our previous classes. Moving on to the next point. Once again, a very, very common point for you now. Those are following my class regularly. Now this is something like a simple point. The body is made up of 3 germ layers, triploblastic, with a coelomic cavity. That means what? The body is eucoelomate. They are triploblastic. This third point also, now you can split up, and third point is not that unique. Okay, they are triploblastic and they are eucoelomates. Their coelomates also you can call, they are eucoelomates. So in general characters we are just mentioning they are triploblastic, they are eucoelomates. Moving on to the next point. Very, very important point. Very, very important point. Whenever Echinodermata term comes in your mind, first thing that spiny skin word should strike your mind. The second immediate thing that should strike your mind is here symmetry we were speaking. Asymmetry in case of porifera, and from platyhelminthes we started, coelenterata and ctenophora we spoke about radial symmetry, and then from platyhelminthes all the organisms had bilateral symmetry. So I said bilateral symmetry is the advanced symmetry, right? But here there is a twist in this exact point. This point you will not find in any other phylum or any other animal in entire animal kingdom. What is that? The adults have radial symmetry. You need to underline when you write this. Adults are having radial symmetry. If you recall, for radial symmetry, I did not give you the example of jellyfish. Means I did not explain you the diagram of jellyfish. Rather, I took starfish because it was easy for you to understand what exactly radial symmetry means, right? If not, go to my session 2, go through that point again, that explanation again. Here, all the adults will be having radial symmetry, but if you see their larvae, their young ones, the larvae will be having bilateral symmetry. When they are hatched out from the egg, or when they are in larval stage, they will be having bilateral symmetry. As they metamorphosize, they attain radial symmetry. This is the special, unique character that echinodermates have. No other animal or phylum shows this character. So mark it as a very, very important point from the point of your examination. I'll move to the next point. Water-driven tube, called as water vascular system. Dear students, when I teach this in my theory class, most of the students shout telling we know this, sir, because we have already studied. Where I'll ask, they will tell in phylum Porifera. There also we studied water vascular system. No, actually that is a wrong thing what you have fed in your mind. This water canal system, what you are seeing in front of your screen now, this is a character, unique or a peculiar character that you see only in phylum Porifera. The first point what you studied. This is water canal system, and what we are studying in Echinodermata is water vascular system. So I always tell my students to remember Porifera is the first phylum. So in alphabets, C comes first. So water C, canal system belongs to phylum Porifera, and water vascular system in alphabets, V comes almost towards the last, and even Echinodermata is towards the last of the phylums in non-chordatum. So don't ever get confused with water canal system of phylum Porifera and water vascular system of phylum Echinodermata. Hope this is clear for you. Water vascular system. Now, water vascular system, if you see, this is the water vascular system of a starfish. In general, any Echinodermata you can see. So this madreporite word is there, right? You can assume this is the entry of water. Entry of water into this tube. It will go inside. It will get into this circle of a tube or a duct-like structure. And from this duct, individually, it goes into each arm, carrying the water. ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ if you see each in the feet, you can see a structure like this. I'll draw it in this side. This type of structure you see in ink filler. Before and all, we used to fill with ink. Okay, now also you can have a toy gun which you eat, it will come and stick onto your forehead or body. Have you seen that one? Okay, or else you have seen this structure, the same thing to clean the sink, a rubber structure to clean the sink hole. That suction force you can see in that rubber. The rubber is designed in such a way that it will create a suction force. Okay, vacuum tara create madutte. Similarly, if you see in all of these structures, okay, we call it as tube fit, that suction force will be created through which a locomotion also can be conducted. We are not going in detail with this water vascular system. You need to mention the water vascular system is present in phylum Echinodermata, and its function is so and so. Its function is locomotion, capture and transport of food, and also respiration. This is also, once again, you can see I'm marking it as a very important point. Keep one thing in mind, no diagram is required even for phylum Porifera's water canal system, and even for water vascular system, no diagram is required. You need to just read it. They read this point for 2 marks question. Water vascular system is present in Echinodermata, and its function is locomotion, capture and transport of food, and respiration. Nothing much in detail. We'll move to the next point. Digestive system is complete. That means the digestive system is having all the necessary parts starting from mouth ending with anus. We are not explaining the point. We are just mentioning digestive system is complete, and excretory system is absent. This excretion usually will be taken up by the water vascular system. Okay, moving on to the next point. Sexes are separate. Male is separate and female is separate. So we are not once again explaining this. We are just mentioning sexes are separate, and reproduction always occurs through sexual mode. That is, reproduction is sexual. How male produces sperm and female produces egg. And you should also keep in mind these organisms are found under the seawater. Fertilization is usually external. That means what? Male will release the sperm in water, female will release the egg in water. The egg and sperm fertilize in water outside the body, not inside the female reproductive tract, and fertilization occurs outside the body of the animal in the water medium. So we call it as external fertilization. After they fertilize, they become zygote, and zygote will convert into different stages of larva, and the larva will become adult. So you can guess now what type of development it will be having. It will be having what? Indirect type of development. So one word I ask you to keep in mind. What does indirect development means? Indirect development means which includes larval stages in the metamorphosis from zygote to the adult stage, and the adult and the larva will not resemble one another. So with a free swimming larva, they have not mentioned the larval name, need not, we will also not mention what is the larval name. Understood? And we have to end up giving some examples. Starfish is there, sea urchin, sea lily, sea cucumber, and brittle star. 5 examples are there, all are common name, okay? And I think you can remember sea cucumber, brittle star, sea lily, starfish. These are all very easy examples to remember, and this is a very important phylum. So at this moment you can pause the screen, take a screenshot and write these points, memorize these points neatly and write without seeing. That will improve your skills of writing in the examination. Examples are also important. You can write down the common name only, no scientific name is required. These are the example. Now this is starfish. Okay, this is starfish. I hope you know that one. This one is brittle star. I'll use a different shade. This one is what we call it as brittle star. You can search in YouTube, you will get the live videos also, how the animals look. So this is, first one is starfish. Okay, this is sea urchin. And if you see these organisms, the spines what you can see there, that will be actually soft when they are in live condition. But if they die, those spines will become thorn-like structure. The sea urchin, if it dies, we won't get anything, the spines and all will fall off, and finally you will get almost a compressed globe-like structure. Compressed globe-like structure, a ball-like structure you will get, only the skeleton you will get. And the fourth one is sea lily. This is sea lily. Sea lily. Fine. So any example what I have mentioned over there, you can just Google or see it in YouTube. And we are not drawing any diagram. Till today I have not asked you to learn any diagram, right? Fine. So this is phylum Echinodermata. I will log out from today's class. Hope you will do your homework and study well. Take care.